You want to buy, you want to sell. If you're Farhan, you got to buy. You want to keep your job, you got to buy. You cannot punt the season. That's just where I'm at right now. You got this rotation that looks very, very good. Very good right now. Now, I know you beat up on the Colorado Rockies, and the Rockies are basically an expansion team. I get it. When I look at the schedule, and I look at the standings, and I look at the expectations, I just don't believe the franchise can afford to sell and say, hey, we're going to just rebuild for 2025. I don't believe you can sell that. I don't. Now, if you want to sell. Call us, 888-957-9570. Shasky wants to sell. I understand why people will want to sell, but the competitor in me can't do it. I just can't do it.
Well, you asked like what Brian Sabean would do, and they really didn't have too many opportunities because they were very wildly successful, and they also had, like, similar to the Steph Curry equation that's going on with the Warriors, they had Barry Bonds for such a long time. In 2007, at the trade deadline, they moved off Matt Morris. It was a bad deal, and he was a right-handed starting pitcher that was
all-time Cardinal,
somewhat coveted, right? And it was just a bad deal, all right? And they got rid of him. In 2008, they were about where they are now, under 500. They were looking at their third straight losing season, which is about what they are now, and they sold off Ray Durham, okay? That's what they did. Well, now, 09,
before you move on, how many playoff spots were available back then?
Well, you had the one extra wild card spot, and that was it. Yeah. So, but that does.
So
but
you
again,
got more wild card
you were
spots
closer to the playoffs that year than you are currently, right? Mm-hmm. So that matters. Context matters. Also, I look at this team, and they had one of the best players in the game in Tim Lincecum, who was going through a Cy Young year that year, and they still sold off Ray Durham. Why? Because it was like, this isn't our time. This is not our moment.
And Ray Durham was getting up there.
09.
Ray Durham was getting up there. Let's not act like he's like some big boy.
Well, I mean,
he ain't on the level of Blake Snell and Robbie Ray.
Okay, but they're 33 and 34 years old, right? So let's also like acknowledge where they're at. Chapman's 31, right? And so you asked me what Sabean would do. When presented with a team that was below 500 at the deadline, he sold. Now,
I don't think he's selling on this team. Not with the extra wild card spots.
In 09, they were 14 games over 500 at the time.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And they ended up, because they thought that this was their moment, they ended up making a trade that was for the then and the future, which was for Freddie Sanchez. They also got Ryan Garco to upgrade at the deadline. But you have to understand, this team is not 10, 14 games over 500. So you're asking me what Sabean would do? Well, the two times where he was presented with a comparable situation, he sold what he needed to be able to try to unload an older player, open up a spot for a younger player, and get multiple young players who ended up not being, the equation for what would be winning. But it was about getting something instead of nothing.
Sabean, though, would also look at this team and say, really haven't had Blake Snell. Wow. Snell's healthy. Pretty damn good. So one of the 5 best pitchers in the National League. Then Sabean will look at Robbie Ray and say, well, yeah, I haven't had him for 3 months. I see him in his first start. Wow, he didn't give up a hit. Whoo-wee. Okay, I got 2 electric lefties. Electric. Logan Webb, who's in a bit of a slump, but I know Logan Webb will figure it out. He'll be all right. Then I got these young studs in Birdsong, and I got Harrison. Now I got the option of putting Hicks in the bullpen. I can add to this bullpen. And I see that there's a void in the middle of the lineup when it comes to power. Because I don't know if Fitzgerald's going to be able to continue to do this. Let me go try to get that here. So that's where Sabian's mind would go. I finally have a healthy rotation.
So I take Vlad Guerrero off the board for you.
Vlad Guerrero.
Okay,
just give me a first base.
I actually think left-handed power bat is more important than right-handed.
Give me a power bat, left-handed, right-handed. I don't really care, but this is 2 elements I want to add.
Those guys aren't out there.
I want to add 2 elements.
Look at the 10 teams that would sell.
I really don't know who's going to sell because I didn't know Randy Rosareno was going to get sold by the Tampa Bay Rays.
Everyone kind of saw that coming because of the Wander Franco situation.
But he got sold, right? I didn't think Christopher Morel would be sold by the Cubs, even though he's batting under 200. He got sold.
And where are the Cubs at?
Behind the Giants.
Exactly. And they know where they're at, right? And so, we saw the Cubs. None of us were impressed with the Cubs.
They're lovable losers, and that's why they sold. But I didn't see them selling Christopher Morel,
which is why the Giants should sell.
I don't think
they have desirable pieces.
We shouldn't do business like the Cubs.
Why?
We shouldn't do business because we're not the Cubs.
What do you mean?
They're the lovable losers.
They've won a championship more recent memory than we have.
They won one 2 years after one, and they won their first championship in over 100 years.
You're closer to the Cubs than you want to admit. What?
I'm 4 games behind the Padres and the Diamondbacks. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about organizationally. They've landed free agents.
They have. That's why I need to go trade and go get me a big boy. Because obviously I can't land free agents. I don't have the allure of Chicago in the summertime. Summertime shy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that allure. I don't have Wrigley Field. I got Oracle Park, which people complain about. So when I go out there to try to sign players, I can't sign them. The Cubs can. So you know what? My best avenue to getting the big boy here may be a trade. It may be a trade.
Yeah, but you could make that same argument in the offseason, which I would say that we're going to have this same conversation come winter meetings time. And to me, it's about stocking the cupboard with enough prospects. Not that these prospects are going to hit, but so that you have ammunition to make a big-time deal like what you're talking about and still have something and still have guys that you can plug and play throughout. Like right now, let's say you make this deal.
But
if
you buy these prospects and they scuffle in minor leagues, what value do they have? Like we talk about Luciano.
You can play that game until we're blue in the face.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to play that game no more. I want major league proven talent.
But Bonte, all the best teams like Atlanta, they were in prospect building mode for a long time, and then they realized, all right, now's our window, and now's our window to move, and we can be more aggressive. Atlanta's a great example. They went and got Chris Sale, right? They lost Strider this year. They've lost other guys in that rotation. They've lost Acuna for the year. They still think they can win a championship.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They're freaking out in Atlanta. They don't believe they can win this year. They believe they got the black cat under their dugout now.
You might feel that way.
No,
I bet you they make a move at the deadline.
I talked to people in Atlanta. I talked to people in Atlanta. They're going to try to make a move at the deadline.
There you go.
They're going to try, but why can't we try?
Because now's their time in terms of they have a plethora of guys that are in their prime locked up for long term.
As we watch the Giants win 3 World Series, and obviously 2010 was special. 2012, they were one of the best teams in the game. 2014, they snuck in and they had the miracle down Marcus.
Yeah, but they had guys in their prime.
But so what? I hear that. I hear that. Well, that matters. But I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about this team in the short series, in the first round, and I'm trotting out Snell, Ray, and Webb. Who's going to face that in a short series? Because anything happens in the playoffs.
It sounds great.
We just watched the Diamondbacks sneak into the World Series. How many games they win last year? 83, 84?
Yeah, but how many games? They also had 2 guys that were younger than Snell and Robbie Ray who pitched all year and were dynamic.
But their strength was those 2 players. Our strength
is our starting
our strength is our starting rotation.
Well, no, it's been for 2 weeks, Bonte. It's been a strength for 2 weeks. It wasn't a strength for 4 months.
They're finally healthy. And by the way, before people get on me about Atlanta, didn't the Giants go down to Atlanta and win 2 or 3? He went down to Atlanta and won 2 or 3.
This isn't about a singular series.
But that's what the playoffs are. That's what the playoffs are. They're series. When you can catch lightning in a bottle. Let me get in then. I want to get into the playoffs. That's what I want for 2024.
So you're jumping the other teams because right now you're 10th place in the National League. You're going to be jumping a handful of teams. You're going to get healthier. You're going to get the same comparable production from those guys that have been good for a week. And then all of a sudden you're just going to be this team.
Yeah, they were saying the same thing about the Mets a month ago. Oh, you got to jump all these teams. You got to jump all these teams.
Yeah,
you got to jump all these teams.
Also Francisco Lindor was a multiple-time All-Star.
Yeah, but he hadn't done diddly poo with the Mets up until that point.
Deal for a reason.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing anything. He looked like a bust until a month ago. Francisco Lindor. He finally put it together. Yeah, he looked like he was getting booed off the diamond. He was one of the
best players in Cleveland.
He was getting booed. He was in Cleveland. And then he gets traded to the Mets and he did nothing.
But the Giants don't have those guys right now. That's again, I keep saying,
why I'm asking.
Look at their primes.
That's why I'm asking to go get that guy. That's why I'm locked in on Vlad Guerrero Jr. with Toronto, knowing that they're selling. I'm saying maybe that's my guy. I can't sign a guy in the offseason. Well, let me try to trade for one. And you have team control.
So, like, you're talking about Vladimir Guerrero signing. So let's just say in this hypothetical, you make a move for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The team even qualifies for the playoffs. Snell and Ray are opting out. Chapman's probably opting out. Now I have given up all of my prospects to get Vladdy Jr. Why is he going to want to sign an extension here if there are no other players to play in the lineup?
I got Vlad Jr. and I'm saying, look, we go out there and make trades. We sign pitchers and we can
But to make trades, you have to have pieces.
If you're a pitcher, you say, wow, Kevin Gausman. Wow, Carlos Rodon.
They didn't sign any of those guys.
Yeah, but teams are looking at the Giants saying, I could go pitch there and go make some money elsewhere, even if I use the Giants for a year. It's not a sustainable model right now, but you got to do something and then obviously you got Birdsong and Harrison who are linchpins alongside Logan Webb. So I got those 3 going into the future, no matter what. Birdsong, Harrison, and Logan Webb.
And I like that. It's nice.
And then I could patchwork the back end of the rotation by getting the big boy, by signing him to a 1-year deal with the player option. Now, if that's how I got to do business, then that's how I'll do business right now. But I got to get into the postseason. I have to get there. I have to.
And who's to say also, if they do, again, make this big trade for like a Vlad Jr., who's to say that won't, get Blake Snell, Robbie Ray to look at that? It's like, we actually have a lineup now that can kind of give me some run support where if I do give up one run, that's too much. I mean,
you know what pitchers want? They want 4 5-year deals that are guaranteed for a couple $100 million. And the Giants,
give it to them, Dan.
No, I would not give Blake Snell a 4 or 5 year deal worth a couple $100 million. This year has been marred with craziness. What?
I'm giving him a 3.
It was an unusual year for him too. I mean, if you're signing him to a long-term deal in this hypothetical, you're getting a full offseason and a full spring training from him.
But
you're not
going to
have to go through the craziness he got last year.
But his baseball card tells you he has wild, fluctuations in production.
You know what his baseball card tells you?
I love him.
You know what his baseball card tells you? July, August, September, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
But the beginning of March, April, and May is why
get through it. You get through it. You know he's going to be up and down. You get through it. But in July, August, September, when you give Blake Snell the ball, you're getting a quality start.
Okay, so they're going to give Gausman 120 at a younger age, more durable, but they're going to give an older Blake Snell a 4 or 5 year. This is what these guys want.
They're probably not. But you know what? It is what it is. I got to get to now. I worry about next year. I got to get now and get into these playoffs, man.
That's how they got into this situation, chasing rings.
And listen,
when you had Buster Posey in his prime and you had Mad Bum in their prime, that I get chasing rings. Believe me, I truly do. Like Bonte, right now, you've got a young Elliot Ramos, and you got Patrick Bailey and a couple of young starters who are going to hit their innings limit, who have never pitched over 140 innings in any season. Like, we can all acknowledge this just isn't their window. It's okay. No one's saying that they can't make a big deal to go get a guy for the long term and try to woo that guy. I'm in for that. But in terms of a rental, I am out on rentals. If anything, I am selling to build up the cupboard.
Did we think 2010 was the beginning of a window opening for us?
You had the rookie of the year. You had a guy who had multiple Cy Youngs.
You did not believe the Giants. You did not even believe the Giants were going to win the NL West that year.
You paid $130.
You didn't believe the Giants were going to win the NL West that year.
No, but they had. Bonte.
That's what I'm saying. You never know what could happen these last 2 months. Let it play out.
You had Pablo Sandoval in year 2 after having an unreal rookie year. You had Lincecum come out on the heels of back-to-back Cy Youngs. You had Matt Cain, who had been with the team for 5 years.
Pablo's not good in 2010.
No, but 2009 he hit 25 and 90.
Pablo was not good.
Okay. You're asking me how I felt. They won 88 games the year prior.
So you thought the window was starting to open? You thought the window was open?
Something.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if I buy that.
I'm telling you how everyone felt. And then everyone did not feel like that.
You're telling everyone how everyone did not feel like that because obviously I didn't feel like that.
So having the Cy Young who's 27 years old.
He wasn't even in the playoff. He wasn't even on the roster in 2010. Right? Playoff roster. He was getting pitch hits.
Who?
Pablo Sandoval he was a pitch hitter in the playoffs.
Okay, that was in the playoffs because Juan Uribe ended up taking his spot.
Yeah, he's stuck in 2010.
You're asking about how people felt going into 2010. They signed Mark DeRosa. Everyone's like, Mark DeRosa, that's the piece to get us into the playoffs.
God. Nobody. Who said that?
A lot of people.
Who said that?
A lot of people.
A lot of who? Your friends? Because I didn't say that. I got a side eye from Lubman. He's the biggest Giants fan I know. I certainly didn't say, oh my God, Mark DeRosa's a savior. Who the hell said that?
Oh my God.
I got what? Who said Mark DeRosa was a savior? Let's go to Jack and Sabatel. Jack and Sabatel. Then we get to Richie from Queens. What's going on, baby? What's up, Jack? Come on, you with me, Jack? Let's buy, baby. Let's buy.
Hey guys, lively show. Now I say this with all respect, Shasky. If you're selling with 3.5 games out of the playoffs with 64 to go, I'm sorry, you're thinking like a loser. And Bonte is completely right. You can collect people like Luciano or Matos until you're dead, but when is the next time you're going to get into the playoffs with a chance of have a guy like Snell, Robbie Ray, and Logan Webb in a short series?
Wow.
Guys like Ray. I mean, guys like Ray and Snell. They're the ace of aces.
How many starts of Robbie Ray have you watched? Can I ask you how many starts? How many have you watched?
I've watched Robbie Ray. I live in Seattle. I watched Robbie Ray, and no, provide if he's
How many times has he started in the last 2.5 years? One start at the big league level in 2.5 years.
He watched the guy in Seattle with his Cy Young. He knows who Robbie Ray is. Let Jack cook. Jack, continue to talk, please.
Let me finish, Jesse. I mean, I say that with all respect, because you're 3.5 games out. And you have to make a run for it. And this is a time where you get like a Hunter Pence-like impact back into the lineup and stabilize the lineup. You let like Monte said, let Robbie Ray, let Blake Snell, let Logan Webb cook during the last 2 months. You never know what's going to happen in a short series. You have to go for it. I mean, you can collect guys like Luciano. Those guys consider you dead. Really. I mean, it's not. This is the time you go for it. They may never have another chance to have three aces in a short series like this. I mean, we watch Logan Webb. He's our ace. Like,
Logan Webb's not pitched like an ace.
Timeout.
Jack, you see the vision,
most
Jack.
impactful thing Logan Webb's done all year is jump on stage and do a cowboy concert Friday night.
Don't disrespect Mr. Webb like that. Don't disrespect Mr. Webb like that. Now you're being disrespectful.
No, I'm not.
Hey,
I'm
Jack
being realistic.
Candidate for Call of the Week.
Realistic.
He sees the vision. If you get into a short series, all you got to do is get in, and you got a shot. And now we disrespecting Logan Webb.
And we're talking about Luciano. Like the season has not been salvaged by watching the young players like Elliot Ramos stabilize everything. Ramos has been better than every free agent they've brought in this season.
One player.
Yeah. You don't get the benefits of reaping the reward of one player of development without having players to develop in your farm. And yeah, you're going to plant a lot of plants, and one will grow to as tall as a redwood tree, and the rest might die. That's how it works.
How long did it take the Giants to develop a homegrown outfielder? How long has it taken?
35 years.
Yeah, exactly. But don't get mad at the fan for not wanting to trade for something when they've seen for 35 years the inability to develop an outfielder. Is that not facts? Ramos is the first homegrown outfielder to make the All-Star game since who? Chili Davis?
Why?
We're talking 1987.
Why is
we were peeing in our pull-ups at that time, Jasky.
Because
what are you talking about?
20 years,
we were walking around with poopy diapers the last time they developed an outfielder. And now we finally got one, and we think they could develop every single season. Are you out of your mind? No. We finally got one. We're out there spilling Similac all over our white T-shirts. Mama, let me get a pacifier. Jesus Christ. For the hell with developing.
For 20 years, they traded away prospects to chase a ring. And I get why they did. They had Bonds, and then they had a dynastic run with posing them. I wasn't mad then. But now is not your time. Now is the time to hoard the draft picks and get more of them.
The time is now.
No,
you know why the time is now? Because Greg Johnson said the playoffs are mandatory. You know why the time is now? Because Farhan's running his mouth and bumping his gums talking about, it's been disappointing. But you know what, Slusser? The stakes are high this year.
2 years ago, they had Carlos Rodon, who was more dynamic and was more healthy than both Snell and Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray and Blake Snell are healthy right now.
Do you regret not trading Carlos Rodon at that deadline?
No, I do not. I do not. I don't care.
I do. I think they do too.
I do not.
Yeah, I think they do too.
I don't even know what you're getting that for him. You regret Blake Snell within 15 strikeouts he had on Saturday?
He got no decision.
God. Well, you can't help that.
He was a great.
He kept you in the game.
Oh, that's his job. He's getting paid $32 million this year.
6 innings, the first time that's happened since Tim Lincecum. Come on, you want to trade that guy right now?
He's had 11 starts.
Wow. No. I'm with my boy Jack Sabean by way of Seattle.
11 starts.
By way of Seattle. But you know what? But what have I been saying the last month?
Man.
What have I been saying the last month? He can make up for it with a dynamic second half. And so far, so good. Richie for Queens.
He can make up for it if you trade him at the deadline to a team that is desperate, that wants to win now, and you get a couple of prospects back that can help you for when you really are ready to roll.
Aren't you tired of talking about prospects?
They're the fourth place team in the NL West.
Are you tired of talking about prospects?
No, because I want to see.
You know what?
Because the prospects have been good this year. Birdsong and Harrison, they're encouraging.
You
Ramos
just gave up on Harrison last week. You said you didn't even like Harrison.
Well, now that they've
ready to send him back down to minor leagues before the starts against Colorado. I can't keep up with you. You're back and forth. The pendulum swings.
Because I actually watch a game. I actually see
you watch the games. I watch the game too.
Flat Junior.
You look at all red. You've been talking about prospects for 4 years. They ain't done nothing in this squad. I'll trade the whole damn farm with the exception of Eldridge. The whole damn farm. Winston can go. Lucian can go. Everybody can go.
He's not even in the top 100.
I don't care about the prospects. These prospects never pan out. We got one guy, Elliot Ramos, who's had it 3 months.
They don't need a right-handed power back.
Oh, my God. I don't care.
Roddy, yes, they have right-handed power. They don't have left-handed power.
I would trade your boy Bryce Eldridge. I would trade Bryce Eldridge if it meant getting Vlad Guerrero Jr.
They need a third baseman for the future. I would trade your boy Bryce Eldridge. Corner outfielders.
I asked you 2 weeks ago, you told me the most exciting thing about the Giants right now is a player in single A. A player in single A is the most exciting product.
Oh,
stop. Get him out of here and trade for Vlad Jr. Because Vlad Guerrero makes his team infinitely much better.
Being an all-star.
Oh,
okay, you keep trading prospects, then you're going to be stuck with the Confortos of the world.
Trade everybody. anybody.
exactly.
They give a damn about these
Trade
prospects.
everyone.
We waited for
Exactly.
Luciano for how long? How long you tell me about Luciano and Casey Smith?
And Ramos jumped
Casey
him.
Smith,
Thank
you
God.
went so crazy over Casey Smith. This guy finally got a home run the other day, and he got a standing ovation. It's like, wow, Casey Smith got a hit. Wow.
So a week ago, this team was garbage,
Wow.
and Farhan needed to go, and everyone needed to sell. They sweep the god-awful Colorado Rockies, who have Chris Bryant, who can't even move
it's not
out in
even
the
about the
outfield.
Rockies.
And now all of a sudden, it's
not,
bye.
It's not even about
That's
the Rockies.
delusional.
If you're
That's not how you run a business.
no,
That's not how you
Shasky,
run a
please.
business.
You
You've been
know how to run the
god-awful for
business.
5 months.
You know how to run the business. Yeah,
for 5 months. You have four games,
4
3
months.
days,
First of all, it's
really,
4
of
months.
excellence.
You haven't got to the 5th month yet. Do the math, business guy. Number two, if I'm Farhan Zaidi, my point is, if I'm Farhan Zaidi, you can't afford to sell if you're Farhan Zaidi. Your job is on the line, and you may never get this opportunity again.
Destroy my team for years
He's
to
recklessly
come,
destroying
so
my
that he
signing
can
guys.
chase a wild card spot.
Yeah, because if
Come
you get
on.
in, we watched the
You
team win the
don't
World
do
Series
that.
from the
You
wild
don't
card
do
spot.
that.
This is the same organization that won the World Series from the wild
And
card
they were
spot.
over 500 every time when they made those deals.
So
They're
what?
4
You're
games
2 games under. You're 3.5
You're
back.
the 4th place team
You're
in the
3.5 back of the Diamondbacks and the Padres. You're getting all upset. You want to watch? You really want to watch meaningless baseball for the last 2 months and just
I've been
sell
watching
everybody?
meaningless baseball for a decade.
No.
What are you talking
a decade?
about?
Oh, gosh.
Have I not? They were a
Richie for
loser in
Queens.
2015. They were a loser in
Richie for Queens.
2017. They were a loser
They were
in
not a loser
2018.
in 2016.
They were a loser in 2019.
2021.
They were a loser in 2020.
2021. They won 107 games, right?
They've had
they weren't a
2
loser.
winning
Okay,
seasons
they have.
since 2016.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've
that's
watched
fine.
meaningless
Which is why I
baseball.
want to win this year.
And
That's
I'm
the more
still
meaning.
here.
You
I'm
just made
still
my
here.
point. I'm
I'm still
tired of
here.
losing. I'm tired of losing. Trade everybody if
No.
that means get me a
No.
big boy. Richie from Queens, get in here.